hits the great white horse. All right, now real fans enjoying the fight with Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of UFC. Show us your UFC watch party crew with hashtag Bud Light UFC crew and hashtag sweepstakes for a chance to see your crew shown here during UFC 317, along with a pay-per-view code and beer money. All right, next matchup, as many of you know, was initially booked for a fight night in Mexico City in March. After a delay, gets the pay-per-view treatment here in Jersey. Back in the middleweight division, he called home for several years. Kelvin Gastelum wants to get back in the title race, and if he can score a win as big underdog here against Joe Pyfer, that would certainly be an impressive start. While middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis has settled in as the undisputed king of the division, there is no shortage of top talent gunning for an opportunity to fight him for the title. Tonight, Kelvin Gastelum and Joe Pyfer will shoot their shot in what promises to be a war for as long as it lasts.
Tonight is huge for me. You know, I get to fight a veteran in Kelvin Gastelum. He's fought who's who, and I get a chance to take his fan base and take his name and put it on my resume.
I can see this being an all-out war for 15 minutes, or I can see myself subbing him, or I can see myself knocking him out, because we all know I'm not afraid to stand up and bang.
A few weeks away from being inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame's fight wing for his 2019 Classic with Israel Adesanya, Kelvin Gastelum knows there is still more to be accomplished in his career. And at just 33 years old, the former Ultimate Fighter winner still has time to hit his mark.
Tonight, I really want to show the difference in skills, the difference in just being a dog against Joe Pyfer. I know that he's a dog, but I feel I'm the bigger dog, and I will plan on showing it.
As no nonsense as they come in mixed martial arts, Philadelphia's Joe Pyfer shows up on Fight Night for one reason, and that is to finish his opponent. So far in the UFC, Pyfer has put a definitive stamp on each of his 4 wins. And whether by knockout or submission, he expects a similar result tonight against the big-name Kelvin Gastelum.
I believe I can finish Kelvin, whether it is a knockout or it is a submission. I know I'm the better athlete. I know I'm the better fighter, and I have definitely more tools in my arsenal.
Born in Vineland, New Jersey, but representing Team Marquez MMA in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here's Joe Pyfer for his 6th UFC appearance. And DC, I remember when Kelvin Gastelum beat Tim Kennedy, and I asked him about what it was like staring across at Tim. And he was like, what an absolute monster. He's got another monster, Joe Pyfer, tonight. Fighter Walkouts, brought to you by Total Wireless, the official wireless provider of UFC. In your corner with unlimited data that won't slow you down.
Yeah, Joe Pyfer is a big middleweight. He's a tremendous athlete, and he's very aware of everything, right? I asked him, I said, Joe, you had to extend your camp. I said, what did you do? He goes, you know what? I felt like last time I peaked, he said, when the fight was off, I took a few days off, and then I went right back to work. I actually stayed on the gas. I had a very long camp, but I didn't need to get in shape. I just had to stay there. So he said I worked a lot of fine details to make sure I was ready for this fight. He said the betting line is a little disrespectful to Kelvin Gastelum. He expects a much tougher fight than the line says, John.
All right, let's get to the keys to victory, brought to you by the Air National Guard. Serve your nation, serve your state, serve your way. Joe, what do you have on Joe Pyfer?
With Joe Pyfer, he's got to manage the gas tank. Joe Pyfer has insane power and explosiveness, and that comes at a cost. That cost is it drains the gas tank. We saw that in the Jack Hermanson fight. He's got to manage that gas tank and get that power to Kelvin Gastelum. He also has to control the distance. If he's going to win this fight, I believe his best chance is standing up. He's got, as I said, some of the most ridiculous knockout power. Dean Palmer said that he's the strongest guy he's ever held pads for. Dean's held pads for a lot of people. That means a lot. When you watch the way he took out Marc-Andre Barrios, this guy can crack. That's where I think he wants to keep his
I'm getting off of it.
He punched Dean in the face today. Dean was telling me, I got hit in the face by Joe Pyfer.
So Joe Pyfer got back surgery.
He got a
after
snatch
his
block. No
Marc-Andre
way.
Barrios fight. It was in July of 2024. L5, S1. That was done on August 8th.
What did they do to it?
I don't know. I mean, I got you the L5 and the S1. I don't know if they fused it or what, but I was trying to get you the details because you always ask me. We'll see how he does against KG. Well, later this month, Kelvin Gastelum's 2019 fight against Israel Adesanya will be honored in the fight wing of the UFC Hall of Fame. 24th UFC appearance, Joe, for KG. What a wins list. What a list of opponents.
Why would he call it from the AI?
I mean, we talked about Tim Kennedy earlier, but knocked out Michael Bisping. I mean, the fight with Israel Adesanya was an absolute war. And we all know that Adesanya is one of the greatest of all time. Kelvin Gastelum has highly underrated power and boxing ability, great wrestling. I really felt like Kelvin would have been a real contender for the title at 170, but just doesn't like to cut weight. He feels stronger and healthier at 185 pounds, and that's his prerogative. He's been very competitive in this weight class, although undersized, but he's a dog. I mean, this dude can fight. He loves to fight, and he's not an easy out for anyone.
Daniel, he made his UFC debut by beating Uriah Hall on The Ultimate Fighter in 2013. What are his keys to victory against Pyfer tonight?
He's got to get to the clinch. He's so good when he gets in close because he has a really good wrestling pedigree. He does a good job of controlling guys there. And he's got to be either all the way in full contact with Joe Pyfer, or far enough for Joe Pyfer not to hit him. He cannot be in that mid-range where Pyfer can use his athleticism to exploit Kelvin's age. Also, being the shorter guy in the weight class, he needs to be in or out if you're Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin's got to go fight, though, man. We've seen him on many occasions just go fight. That's what he's going to need to do if he wants to beat Joe Pyfer.
Gastelum trying to get his first finish since he got Michael Bisping all the way back in 2017.
Set tripping tonight, baby girl.
All right, tail the tape for this featured bout is presented by V-Change. Be better, earn rewards for sustainable choices. Gastelum, a plus 300 underdog tonight is 33. Joe Pyfer, 28. Pyfer with 5 inches in height, less pronounced in reach, where his advantage is 3.5 inches. All right, now for the particulars back inside the book.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding professional record, 13 wins, 3 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Joe Body Bags Pyfer. And now, introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist.
Now 2K when I hit 95%, I'm only 4.4 from it.
He stands
that shit
5 feet
tomorrow,
9 inches
'cause there ain't no
tall,
fight on, so I
weighing
ain't
in
doing
at
shit.
185 pounds, fighting out of Yuma, Arizona, presenting the Ultimate Fighter Season 17 winner, Kelvin Gastelum. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mike Beltran.
Final assignment of the night for Mike Beltran. Joe Pyfer got sick in Mexico City, was able to make weight, but violently ill thereafter, unable to compete. He's very thankful this fight was rebooked. Now we see who takes it. Pyfer in the purple trunks.
Look at the size difference.
Yeah, he's huge.
I mean, Joe Pyfer is an enormous middleweight.
Dean Thomas joining John Marquez and Jonathan Webb in the corner of Joe Pyfer. Gastelum trying to recover. Back to his feet.
Got hurt bad.
Oh my goodness.
Gastelum's durability is legendary, but the chin has been tested early.
Those punches are whistling by his head too. Woo.
He's barely missing. Now if he throws one straight, because Kelvin start really leaning to get out of the way of that looping right hand. Throws one just down the middle, he'll hit him.
F1 the movie starring Brad Pitt in theaters and IMAX June 27th, rated PG-13.
The power of Joe Pyfer is just extraordinary. The Marc-Andre Barrios fight, I mean, just teed off on it.
Joe, he is loading up with gas.
He's loading up, but he looks calm and relaxed.
Yeah, he does.
He's not frantic, not rushed.
He threw a nice right hand to the body a little bit ago. I'd like to see him do that again.
But he can't be just looking for the big shot all the time. Because he's already let Kelvin back into the fight.
And we isolated that right hand that caused the knockdown right on the ear. Eddie Cha and Santino DeFranco of Fight Ready, chief in the corner of Gastelum. Terrell Hunsinger Jr. there as well.
Good left hand to the body by Kelvin.
Gastelum collecting his reads, hasn't thrown a whole lot early on.
The problem is when he closes the distance, and he has to because of the gap and reach. It's just so dangerous. Pyfer's so fast. And he's already been stunned.
Dean Thomas calling for Pyfer to give him a little up and down.
Gastelum is very confused as to how to enter. I think he got hit with that big right hand, and it's really made him hesitant to get close.
Understandable. I mean, that power is just nuts. But he's swinging wide now because he's looking for the big shot instead of setting his shots up. And sometimes that can happen when a fighter hurts someone.
Can be a good thing in the back.
Oh, head kicked him.
It can be good and bad to hurt someone. That jab was nice.
Yeah, that's a nice establisher. Oh! Big knockdown for Pyfer with a right! Kelvin Gastelum has never been knocked out in the UFC. Pyfer welcomes him back to the feet.
Kelvin's hurt. I like how patient Joe's being, though. Oh, nice left hook.
Strong start for Body Bags. Tonight's Corner Camp powered by Prime Hydration. Hydrate with Prime Collector Series. Collect trophies. Complete your collection on drinkprime.com for a chance to win $1 million US. Now available at 7-Eleven.
Breathe.